Full time. You're listening to Full Time Daughters. It's a full-time job at this point.
Happy Halloween!
Welcome back to another episode of Full Time Daughter with
Isa
and Kaylin, or should we say,
Camila.
and Daisy Jones.
So cute. I love that I said Camila because I don't take that man's last name.
Exactly. No.
Anyway,
about
another
that.
week, another episode.
Another week, another
and this is the
episode.
Halloween special.
We
Thank
do it.
you.
We're making this a new reoccurring special.
I think it's just fun.
I think it's fun.
I think it's
even
fun.
though we talked a lot of game. Like we
Okay.
talked a lot.
Okay.
And we're gonna bring this up because I think we should just start off this episode out of the gate putting
Okay.
the blame on ourselves and taking credit for the fact that we are hypocrites. We're taking responsibility, owning up to it, guilty, charge us, literally put us in jail because we're actually
We're hypocrites.
terrible.
We're hypocrites. Okay, but we're hypocrites. I have a reason for why we're hypocrites.
Okay, valid.
We talked a lot of game. I feel like we were like really like, oh, if you're
We
not
talked it
going
up.
out, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing that, you're
Boring.
boring.
You're
What
like-
do you mean you're not going out for Halloween?
What do you mean you're not
What do you-
dressing
What do you mean
up?
like boring?
Let it be known we are filming this 2 days before Halloween, and when you're
Yeah.
listening to this, it's actually Halloween. Probably.
Yeah. Happy Halloween. I hope that you guys are dressed up. I hope you're having fun. But if you're at home not doing anything,
If
just
you're-
watching movies or just literally handing out candy or just being at
If
home
you're
doing
kind of
nothing.
like us,
Yeah.
we
That's
see
okay
you.
too.
We see you because
That's okay. Yeah, why are we hypocrites? Get back into
So we're recording this 2 days before Halloween, and we were in the car discussing Halloween, and we're like, what are we doing for Halloween? Because we have reason to as to why we're hypocrites. First of all, this is our first. I'm like trying to preface. I'm like I sound like I'm trying to convince my parents to go on a sleepover, but I'm literally like, okay. First of all, we had a very crazy concert season
Okay, yeah.
very recently.
Yeah.
And you know that when you go to concerts, it's like you're dressing up, you're showing up in theme, you're showing up and showing out.
Yeah.
Concerts in itself are kind of like who wore it best type thing.
Mhm.
Like not in a comparison game, but more of like a
It's
dress to impress. Yeah, dress to impress.
It's dress up. You're playing dress
Like,
up.
Come on, like we are in the little Teen Vogue, like J14 magazine, and
Yeah.
you have to dress to the theme of the concert.
Yeah, concert season's intense. Not just
Very.
like physically, but like financially as well. So it's
Planning the costume,
pockets empty.
money. Attending the concert, half your bank account. Literally the driving.
The driving.
If you're not in state.
Going no like it's been a lot and it's been intense. So before concert season we were like, yes, we're gonna go out for Halloween. Like I
We
thought
really
I
thought.
was gonna go on a bender. I was like, oh yeah, girl, like
She was ready.
I was ready for this. And then I got back from the concerts and we got back from this road trip, which more on that later, this road trip that we went on, and I was just like,
It suddenly like
my back is hurting, my legs
the legs,
hurt.
the thighs are sore.
No, like
the-
still to this day, my calves hurt, and my
hurt.
back has been hurting. Mind you, I did drive like
4 hours
four
there and 4 hours
on
back.
like one day. Like I just had
True.
like 24 hours.
No, it was a lot.
So my back has been hurting for days.
We also
And-
wore like super tall heels.
Oh my god! Also,
And
I
going
think that
upstairs.
corset fucked me up, bro.
It snatched you up.
that shit.
No, but
No, like-
it's serious. Like the effects from the corset,
There's
the
like
heels,
metal rods in that fucking corset.
Yeah.
Kaylin had me.
snatched. I had to put
Snatched.
my knee on her back
She-
and like
I was like running
put everything
in place.
into it. Yeah,
But
It
yeah,
was a
it's just
lot,
it's been
and
intense. So we talked a big game, but I
Yeah.
think that we are not gonna go out this Halloween. Like I don't know yet because I have so many people in my life that are like, come out, and like if I'm feeling it, maybe. But right now, today,
It's- Well, how are
me
you feeling
2 days
today?
before, me 48 hours before Halloween. I just
I
don't
know.
know. But
It's
like
feeling
maybe I
like a
will go
lot.
out. You guys don't know either.
You never know. You,
You
never,
never
know with
know.
this one. But truly, like, we were talking such a big game, and then we realized as we were discussing this in the car minutes ago, we were like, I don't know about that. Like, are we hypocrites for saying that you're boring if you don't dress up? Like, and then suddenly we're like, we had to makeshift the costumes that we're wearing,
Which
right
it still
now.
looks really cute, and I want to give you guys a full like look.
Yes,
at
if
the
you're
costumes.
just an audio listener, head over to our YouTube
Yeah,
and
to check it out.
the outfits, or on Spotify.
Yeah.
Truly, like, we had to makeshift it and just kind of work with what we already had, because it was a lot to think about kind of making a whole nother costume when we had already spent so much money
I know.
on like concert outfits, and we really
know.
wanted that to be like its own event.
I know. And it was so funny because we made like a whole poll and we really did want to be
Yeah, that's what gets me.
we did want to be Elfie and Glinda. We really did
I
want to be
know.
them like so much. But
But you know
guys,
what? No, it's not completely done.
not
for,
completely done for, because
'cause
Wicked season is
movie's
about
still-
to
yeah.
approach and I'm excited
And
about that.
I fear we will be dressing up a little bit to
We will
celebrate
be.
that.
We will be, of course. But yeah, we are hypocrites because
We're taking ownership.
no costumes planned. Like
Literally none.
I if I were to have a costume, it would be my sister's. Like it's like, oh,
something out of the
hand me
closet.
down type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No plans. But here's what we did come up with. We're Camila Dunn and Daisy Jones from Daisy Jones and the Six, because we were like, okay, let's try to come up with a creative costume. We did this last year where we were Annie and Hallie from The Parent Trap, and I thought it was cute to just keep up this tradition of like, we
Finding
kind of
stuff.
make our own outfits. So we were
Yeah.
trying to come up with something, and then we were like, okay, we both have like this like 70s vibe. We can be
Right.
Camila and Daisy. So here's what we came up with. Obviously, you want to show your outfit?
I'm wearing this top that's like, it's kind of similar to the one that she wears in the show.
It's so cute.
Dark jeans, that little silver belt, and then I have the boots.
So I'm wearing one of her typical like outfits. I think she wears a long denim skirt, and then I wore this like long sleeve brown shirt with a vest with these brown chunky boots. I feel like we should go down memory lane and just talk a little bit about stuff that's happened to us during Halloween, thoughts that we had about Halloween in the recent
Right.
weeks, and things that we've just been talking about with each other. And I think
Yeah.
Caitlin brought up a good first point.
Yeah, I
because-
want to discuss something weird that I came to the conclusion to, because yesterday, even though we did say we were kind of over Halloween and everything, I randomly was like, why have I not heard the Monster Mash this season yet? Like, that is top tier Halloween
listened
song,
to
you
it.
know? Right? And it's like,
I was
you need at
working
least
on
one
that.
time. You need to hear it at least one time in the season. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm thinking about how artists every year sometimes come out with like either a Christmas cover of popular Christmas songs, or they come out with like their own original Christmas music. And then that got me thinking about Halloween and how literally no artist ever has released a Halloween album. Like, when have we ever heard
So random.
an artist be like, all right, I'm dropping my Halloween EP. It's called, I don't know, The Ghouls in the Graveyard. I don't fucking know. Like, there's never anything, or like, oh, my cover of Monster Mash is out now. When have we ever seen that? Why is it so uncommon?
Well, because
to
I
sing
think
a Halloween
that
song?
I think that for a long time there's always been like Christmas music, and so
True.
it's like, oh my god, we're gonna monetize over the fact
True,
that
true,
people
true.
love listening to music during this time of year. But I don't know, Halloween EP
But I need
would be
someone
fun.
to like change the game.
I mean, China and McClain changed the game for all of us.
She is poster child of Halloween.
She
And
changed the game for all of us.
She really
dude.
is. And the fact that it's an original song too.
I'm
It's not even like
saying
a
that
cover.
she changed the
She
game.
changed the game.
That's why
Let's
I'm like,
give
no
props to
no one's
China.
done it since China, dude. No one.
I need like a very popular artist to randomly just be like, all right, my cover of Thriller. Why are we not coming out with Halloween EPs and albums? That's just a random
I don't
thought.
know. What do you guys think? Should more artists come out with Halloween EPs and
I think they
albums? I have no
Maybe-
idea.
maybe it would,
Would
like-
you even listen to it?
Yes, you're telling me. Well, maybe. Okay, kind of like the Lana Del Rey cover of like Season of the Witch. That's a cover of a song. And people use it all the time over TikTok sounds.
Okay.
So why are we thinking
I
that
see
like,
your point that
you
you've
get what I'm
made.
saying?
Yeah.
I think people
get
listen
it.
to that cover more than the original at this point.
Y'all, I've been an insomniac for a few days.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
even a few days, a few weeks. My back hurts. I'm tired. I have editing to do. Like, I just
Like we're not
on
having
one hand, I would
benders.
love to do like go out and have fun and like do all that. But on the other hand, I'm like,
Yeah,
I kind of just want to do a face mask and like rest.
I know.
Like that would be so nice. Like just put a little robe, put on a movie.
I'm down. I'm always
edit,
down for that.
Do
Listen,
all that.
as an introvert, whenever someone recommends staying in over going out, I eat it up, and I way prefer that. But again, I always kind of feel like it's a toss up between missing out on stuff and seeing everybody go out and being like, you're young, you're supposed to be out there and having fun because you can sit on your couch literally any day of the year.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
So
I
it's kinda
definitely
hard.
feel that way, that you should take advantage of your, youth and your time,
Right.
and it's just one night and all that. But it's
But you know
just-
what? That's not where we are.
I
where we're
kind
at
of just
right
want to
now.
hand out candy and just
As you should.
chill. I think we alluded to last Halloween in our other Halloween episode from the season. It was
Yeah.
like 2 episodes ago. What is there to say about
What
that
is there to
night,
say
other
about-
than it was one of the most disastrous, chaotic haunting, horrible nights
Literally,
of
like
my life.
the Little Shop of Horrors. That is the first horror. We have alluded to this story several times, maybe in past episodes, and we never talk about it. It's like never brought up. It's kind of like, oh, we're sweeping that under the rug and we're burying it. Like, bury the fucking hatchet. We're helping each other bury it down there. Like, we don't talk about her.
You guys know, like, the way I would describe it was, you guys know in 10 Things I Hate About You, when there's this, like, weird guy that is having, like, this, like, dinner party at his house, or he's, like, meeting up with this club, and then all of a sudden, all these people just jump into his house, like, barge in, and he's like, what's going on? Whatever, because they're throwing a party at
It was that.
his house, and he doesn't know about it. That's how I feel emotionally about
Right.
what ended up happening, because in my head I wanted such an innocent, fun time, and it turned into something that still to this day haunts me emotionally, where I'm like, wow, I was not myself. I don't know what happened that day. It was so weird.
So it was Halloween 2023. Her idea of like an innocent, fun time was like, oh, we're going to throw our own Halloween party. This is in the case of like, we've never thrown a party, number one.
Mm-mm.
And number two, a seasonal party, like a Halloween party, a like Christmas get together, like nothing where it requires having people come to her house. So we're like, you know what? If no one's going to throw a party, you will. Like, it's going to be at your place.
Because I was just like, come on, we have to do
Get
something.
in the spirit and just
Yeah.
have fun. So we decided, okay, like Isa has the perfect house for this. Like, we're gonna throw a party. We invite like,
The thing is the invitations.
yeah,
Because we at the time didn't have like a friend group, I would say.
yeah.
I mean,
true. No, true.
Nothing has changed.
I was about to say we still don't really have
We don't have like a friend,
a friend group.
So we were just reaching out to random friends of ours that aren't friends with each other. We were just like,
Which I don't think is a bad thing.
no, I love making
Yeah,
people
I actually
mutuals.
I do think it's kind of cool when you
I
can
love
just
bringing-
bring people together.
I'm an avid believer that you should just invite whoever and let them make friends and
Right.
make connections. I thought that was cool. But
Yeah.
that's what we were doing. We're just inviting random.
Which I
friends
think
of ours.
plays a role in this story
For
because
sure.
we just didn't know what to expect.
For sure.
Okay. So it was just a group of people. It was a group of people that didn't really know each other, randomized.
So like it was pretty early just because I also live with my family. So I was like, this is also their home. I want to be considerate.
Right.
They also want to sleep, whatever.
Plus, it lets people kind of like do their own thing after. Like if it ended early.
Right.
If you
like
wanna
if
go
you wanted to
out,
go to a club, if you wanted to
you
go to
can.
another party, which people did want to do. And I was invited to go out to these things, but I was still like, I don't know. I was being so like, I don't know. Because I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
And I should have just said like, no. But at the same time, I had never made like a plan. Like I wasn't responsible
yeah.
for anyone's
There was
after
never
party.
a set. It was just kind of
Mine
like
was like a pre.
right.
I was just a little pre.
It was a pre-party. It was like
It was a
pre-game.
pre-game. Yeah.
Like come dressed up.
yeah.
It was very much costume.
I did not plan for anyone to like go out after. Like I didn't
Right.
make a plan after that. The party's like starting, I guess. Like we're getting ready, and
Honestly, best part of the night I think was the getting ready because it was before a large group of people had arrived.
yeah.
So it was still very calm and we were getting excited. We were like, "Oh, let's take some shots." Like it was fun because it was like a
fun.
group of 4 girls and we were like, "All right, we're safe. We're having fun. We're doing our makeup. We're getting into costume." We also had like our duo costume, the first duo costume we've ever done, the first Halloween together. So it was so fun. We were like the black swan, the white swan.
Yeah, it was good vibes.
It was good vibes and
It was good vibes.
truly the best part of the night was just like getting ready.
Yeah.
And
And there's nothing against
the people
the
that
people.
came
It's
at all
just what occurred throughout
the night.
Throughout the
Throughout the
night.
night.
And again, I do think that listen, nothing against people, because I do think that when people drink or whatever, like they're having a crazy night, they're not
slip
gonna
your
act like
mind. Yeah,
themselves
things slip your
always. So that's why I'm like, whatever. It was Halloween, you
It was
know.
Halloween, but
But the funniest thing, because that night comes to me in like flashes, like that's the only way I can describe it, is it comes to me
Yeah.
in flashes. And so like one moment we're in the bathroom getting ready, the next moment I'm like turning my head and there's just like a man outside my bathroom, and I'm like, who are you?
that's exactly how I remember it.
A lot of people were kind of like creating a plan that I wasn't aware of, and I'm the type of person where like, oh, I need to know like
Right.
a lot of time in advance.
And to feel like
Yeah.
prepared.
And one thing I don't like, and this is something that I've alluded to in other episodes, was I felt sort of forced, like you were kind of twisting my arm a
Right.
bit, where some people were like asking some things of me that I'm like, oh no, like this isn't like, no,
like you just weren't.
I just planned for a little party, like,
Right.
and also I was raised a way where it's like, if you weren't like asked it, you shouldn't prompt it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you weren't told, oh yeah, you can do this, you shouldn't even bring it
Right.
up. Like it's just like manners. So when I was faced with that sort of like, oh, that was weird. Like when I was,
Yes,
when someone
yeah.
was like, oh, da da da, they just like
And then
said
you
something
didn't
to me, and I was
really
like,
know.
oh, that's so weird.
Like, I
How can I
guess.
even say no to you? Early on in the night, I just felt like some people were telling me some stuff that I wasn't okay with, but I didn't want to be like
Right.
uncool, and I didn't want to be like that person that's like disagreeable
like
and
the,
just like
the party pooper.
right. I didn't want to be like, absolutely not, even though
Kind of
everything in my heart was like, girl,
telling you not
telling
to.
you. And also like when you just feel like, no, I don't want that, like, you know,
Like
everyone
you're just
has,
not in the mood.
but
you don't have that in the
also,
cards.
not even not in the mood, just like, no, I'm not okay with that. I
Right.
just, at that time, again, a lot of growth has happened. At the time, I wasn't able to say no.
Yeah.
So that always haunts me all the time. Like, why wasn't I able to just express myself? And I don't know.
Sort of just imagine like you're in a bathroom getting ready, and then suddenly there's like the bathroom's full of people. And
Yeah.
it's like people you don't really know,
Strangers.
strangers, like because people are bringing like friends of friends
Mm-hmm.
and like all of that. And everyone's like, so what's the plan? What's the plan? Like it's a lot of asking and asking and asking. And in
Yeah.
our heads, it was like, oh, we are in the plan. Like,
And
yeah.
we go outside and we start playing like beer pong or whatever.
There's a pool. This also plays a role.
Oh yeah, I have a pool in my backyard, and there's, you know,
It wasn't intended
for
to be
someone to
put
jump in it. It wasn't intended to be used.
No. It was just like, it wasn't intended. Yeah, like it wasn't really part of the party. It was just like, we just need to make it known that there's a pool there, okay?
And again, like this night is in flashes, so it's like 1 minute we're playing beer pong, 1 minute Kaylin is rapping Monster.
I
in
was
my
about to
face.
bring that up. I was about to be like,
Y'all,
1 minute.
that night I found out Kaylin can rap the entirety of Monster. The entirety.
and it eats up every time.
No, because,
every
like,
season.
what?
Nikki's verse specifically. Okay, I'm a Barb first and foremost. I was in a relationship in this moment of time, and it wasn't until months after this party that Isa brought something up and was like, "Oh, during the party, while people were playing beer pong and stuff,
No,
like
don't
we're bringing
make
it
me
up. We're bringing
angry.
it up.
Okay, we're gonna bring this up.
We're bringing it up."
I had explicitly asked everyone, please don't drive, like Uber or be a designated driver,
Right.
like be a
especially
DD,
like if you're
be
drinking,
sober.
like, don't.
I just didn't want anyone to drive, and lo and behold, so many people came that drove.
Yeah.
And I just found myself in this like corner because I was like, okay, so now you guys have to sleep over. Okay, now I have to tell my family because my whole family lives with me. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, now we're kind of like in each
Put in
other's
a
spaces. Like
position.
they have to be on the couch. What if they throw up?
Yeah.
They have to be in my room. What if they
Right,
throw up?
right, right.
Like it was like really weird. And I just found it really disrespectful when people, I just find the whole thing like so dangerous when you drink
Right.
and you're driving, or you, even if you have
Or
a little
not
bit
planned for. Like
not
if
planned
you're
for.
going to drink, let it be known so that whoever you show up with, there's like, again, a
also,
designated
like,
driver.
I
There's
just
like,
feel like you should just know, like if you're gonna be driving, you don't need to drink.
Don't get to
it
that
would have
point.
been just fun to just
Yeah.
hang out with your friends, and you know what? So that I felt a lot of disrespect, and I felt so pressured, and I just felt like, oh my god, they're in danger. Like, what are they doing? And I
Right.
take that shit so seriously. I don't
I do
care.
too.
There's people that are like, but it was just a sip. I don't
no.
care.
You never
I
know
just
what
can't.
could happen. You never know the
Exactly.
extents that people can go to or like
Exactly.
the effects that it has on them.
Exactly.
And it also is like almost like to you disrespectful because you did not plan for that to happen, and now you have
Exactly.
to be the mom of the group because you
Yeah.
feel like there no one else is, so you have
And
to
I also
be
didn't
that.
want to feel bad, like if anything were to happen, that
Yeah.
guilt that would
that
come-
you feel like you're
Exactly,
guilty
like,
for that. Yeah.
I couldn't. So that was pretty bad. While we're playing this, which Kaylin just reminded me of,
Yeah.
I got so upset. Because
Mind you, I didn't know about any of this until like months
Right.
after when we're dissecting this whole event.
She was in a relationship at the time.
I was a different person, guys. I was.
No one blames you,
Don't-
babe. No
Yeah,
one
okay.
blames you.
Don't
No
blame
one's
me,
mad at you,
please.
babe. No one, like literally,
I get
no one is
triggered.
mad at you,
I
babe.
literally get triggered about
No,
it
I
'cause I'm
know.
like, that wasn't. That literally wasn't me.
No,
Like,
no,
I
no,
don't know
but
why I
no one
couldn't just
blames
been
you,
like,
babe.
no.
No one
yeah.
blames you, babe.
Okay.
I swear. um,
She gotta keep me in check.
no, like no one blames you. To preface, her ex.
We're like, oh, skirting
That's what
around
he
the word.
is.
Whatever.
Okay, her ex like wasn't the biggest fan of me.
We think. Like the signs were there.
Okay, she thinks I know. And that's just that. Like she has her own opinion. I have my opinion.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so because
No, but
she-
I agree with you.
No. He whatever. We were just innocently playing beer pong and like having fun. And I remember this is my point of view. I want you to give yours as
Right,
well.
yeah.
I remember I went to grab Kaylin because her ex like had her almost like wrapped up all to himself, and I went to
Yeah.
grab her because I was like, come play with us. And I just remember he would not let her go, and I was so pissed
Bro,
off.
it's the fact that so much of this has like slipped my mind, and I do remember.
Do you remember?
I do remember the moment, and I do remember kind of wanting to be part of like the games because I'm not one to like play games or like whatever. But I was like, damn, like this whole party was because like we wanted to have like a cute Halloween moment, like everyone playing games, get in the
It was
Halloween
stupid
spirit.
games.
It was
wasn't even
stupid
like
games, but I kind of
anything
wanted to be
win.
part of it. Like for a second, I was like, oh, and I also had another one of my friends there, and like it was seeing them interact for the first time. I was like, oh, this is so fun. Like everyone's together, like
Yeah.
there's teams, and I was like, I'll be a part of your team. Like I kind of wanted to, but then I felt kind of like held back.
It's just like really annoying, that whole scene that played out, because I just feel like you should never hold someone back from having fun.
Right.
And that's what it felt like. And then also, like, sure, you might be like possessive guy right now,
Yeah.
but I can be possessive girl, bitch. Like I can literally be possessive best friend.
exactly.
Like don't be like that. 1 second she's singing it, the next second our friend has jumped into the pool and I'm like, girl, where are you? This is what I remember. She jumped in the pool, my other friends got here, I said hello.
Right.
Everyone's now planning where to go. They're gonna go out.
They're
gonna go
looking
out.
up clubs to
They're
go
looking
to.
out clubs to go to. I was like, I don't even know, like what, like I don't know, because I was
And
like
the
this
whole
back and
situation
forth.
of like when you're planning something, it's either everyone goes or just like
right,
no.
and then also imagine
it's her house.
You're also everyone that was there was sort of in a way like I was. It was like
The
a
glue?
web, but like I was like the center.
center.
So everyone was kind of like Isa telling me,
Right.
you have to come, you can't leave us, whatever.
Yeah.
Because like they know each other because of me, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like
yeah, you're
the,
like the
middle
link that
ground.
holds everyone.
Yeah.
together.
So imagine that whole time while we're just talking, everyone's like, okay, so are we gonna go to this club? Or are we gonna go to that club? And I just felt so peer pressure
I
the
could
whole
see
time.
it all over her face. Like while this was all happening, I was just sitting back and letting people decide kind of like where they wanted to go, because I didn't have the idea in my head of going out either. Like that's what we came into this with, was just like, oh, we're gonna have a chill Halloween house party. Then I could see on Isa's face like she's kind of freaking out. Like she looks very much kind of like her peace was disturbed. Like she was very visibly kind of like out of it. And she kept, like, I remember you pulling me upstairs. Like, you were going upstairs and, like, asking whether you could go out. Also asking me, like, wait, what do you think we should do? Like, I don't know if I want to. You said that. You were like, I don't think I want to, but, like, everyone's asking to go out. And then I remember telling you, I was like, if you don't want to, you can say no. Like, who's gonna literally be upset at you
Again,
for
I
saying that you
couldn't.
don't want to?
I literally
But you were
couldn't.
like, no, I just feel really bad because everybody wants to go out and I'm the only one that's like kind of saying no. And I don't want people to like be upset at this or be bored, like because you were the one that like threw the party. So if you don't go, like you don't want people to be upset that like it was boring or they had a bad time.
I'm so embarrassed by my own like
But it
freaking
happens.
actions.
No,
like,
I think
that's so stupid.
like
Like how I wasn't able to even like make up my own, like follow my own heart.
No, but I
or
truly
say no.
think that that's like just like a number one example of like peer pressure. And it happens like when you think that you want to speak your mind and just say, hey, like I really don't want to do this. You guys can if you want to, but I'm just like not feeling it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really truly feel like you can't because you're being held back by other people and you feel like I don't want to be the one to make people upset or like ruffle any feathers, so I'm just gonna go along with the plan, which is like what you ended up choosing to do.
I remember one part someone asked me like, oh, Isa, can you go get me a Tylenol upstairs or something, because someone's head was hurting. And I was like,
I
sure,
remember.
I will go upstairs and get you some Tylenol. And I remember going up the stairs, and all of a sudden I had like a little train behind me following me up the stairs, and I was like, oh, are we all coming upstairs?
We're all coming upstairs.
Like, okay, like, all right. And I like go to my room to like go grab the Tylenol. 1 second, I'm going into my room. I have all my pills in this like little box.
It's like she turns around.
I turn around. I turn back to walk out my door, and suddenly there's someone on my bed. In their clothes.
In their clothes
from the outside. Like, in their clothes that they've worn all day. And not just like, it's like you're like getting into my covers, like you're laying your like face on my freaking pillows, like passed out on my bed, and like, it's giving gross.
It's passed out.
I couldn't believe it.
At this point I'm trying to help Ista like figure out a situation.
No,
because we're both kind of freaking out and we don't know what the plan is.
You weren't freaking out. You were like angry when I saw you.
So angry because I was embarrassed. So I was like, how the fuck is this person on the bed? Because in my head I'm just thinking like I would never.
I remember just turning around and seeing Kaylin's face, and I was like, oh, she's angry. I was glad that she was angry, because if she was angry I was fuming, because I was like,
so true.
Fuck.
I am not one to get angry. Like I can't ever express my anger because I'm like, why am I putting energy towards this? Like I'm giving it way too much energy. But it had reached a point where it was like there was factors. There was factors involved, and it also like kind of like put something on me where it's like that's my image too, and I just didn't like how I was being represented. So I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? There's a man on your bed. And I was like, I'm like, this isn't your room, number one. You need to get out of her bed. Like, who let you up here? I was just so mad.
I only saw him in my bed once, which that's a crazy statement to say. But I do remember we like got downstairs again.
This is when like it starts transitioning to
multiple POVs.
Yeah,
because we start breaking off. Now, everyone was kind of getting rowdy. People wanted to leave. 2 people got to my house super late. Like the party was like, we're supposed to end. Like why hasn't it ended? These 2 people get here, and I remember they gave me a hug. Immediately they start like getting into the drinks and the food and stuff. And I was like, okay, like I'm glad more people are here to like buffer the conversation. When all of a sudden I just see them sharing
I
like
don't remember
sharing
this.
a specific thing. If you are looking at me right now, they're just passing it on. Right, okay, you guys can understand.
This must have been the point where I was just sitting at the table.
Yes, you were
talking, and I think I was just talking to like 3 different people, and I was trying to make very small talk because I was talking to someone
I remember
who I didn't really know.
This one girl who had kind of pressured me, or I felt a little pressured by it, to go out, was like, we should go out, I'm making my own plan, whatever. And she was like talking to everyone, like really like
ordering Ubers already.
Like
there was
Ubers
on
were
the
gonna
way.
be ordered. And then before the Ubers were ordered, not for some of the girls were already leaving, but there were other people that wanted to go in a group. And I remember I go upstairs really quick to just like go to the bathroom. Like I needed like to refresh, and I remember when I stepped outside of the bathroom, she was upstairs. And I remember feeling so cornered because upstairs it was dark.
Yeah.
And she was just like, come on, let's go. Like, we should go. I don't know what was going on downstairs. I think the Ubers were being ordered. Like, everyone was like, yes.
I had already realized at this point that I didn't want to, because I was like, someone has to be responsible.
Yeah.
And I was just very worried that everyone was going to go out, get drunk. Who's going to make it back, even though you can order Ubers and stuff. But I wasn't in that mood.
Yeah.
So I was like, I am going to stay back. That's when I had realized. So I was just kind of sitting downstairs while Isa's upstairs. Yeah. And I was like, no, like I can go home at this point. I can drive people home if like they don't want to.
I just remember being like, okay, we're going, bye, bye, bye. And I was like, wait, but what's gonna happen? Like, I don't even know if we talked before. But like,
I don't think we did. I think you really quickly were like, I think I'm gonna go. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, I'll stay here just to make sure, because there were other people staying. And I was like, that's weird if they're just gonna stay in her house.
But like, were they gonna leave?
No, the other guy that said he wasn't.
Everyone was gonna leave.
To my knowledge, I was like, okay,
Like,
people
that's
are gonna
what
leave.
I thought.
See, this is where the different
everyone
POVs
was
come
leaving.
in.
Like, I thought you were gonna leave with your
Yes,
ex,
I was
and
going
I thought
to.
that other guy was gonna leave as well.
I was going to leave and just like take my ex home. And then there was another guy in the picture, and he had to, that's when he decided, when you guys were leaving, he was like, well, I guess since they're all going in an Uber, he was like, I'll just stay here with you guys.
Like, what?
And I was like, oh,
the
okay.
owner of the house is, well, the host is leaving, and like, I had no idea. Like, I genuinely thought at the time everyone was just gonna leave, like go home, and then
like,
whoever was gonna come back.
This other guy that we didn't really know, he was like a third party. Like,
we didn't know he was a stranger.
This
is a stranger.
We've
and never met.
I met him for the first time at this party. He decided to stay back because we were with someone who was drunk, like fully on the couch, unconscious. And it was just me taking care of this person. So I think he just kind of felt bad being like, oh, if you're going to stay watching over this guy who's unconscious. But I could have done it. Like, I very well could have, you know, I was just like, we're going to wait a little till he sobers up. And then either way, this is another thing to mention, is that he had come to the party in his own car.
Why would you knowingly drink when you know you
have a vehicle to
you
move
drove
out of the driveway? There are multiple cars.
It's giving
in this
reckless.
It's giving reckless. We're like, what do? We're trying to scheme up a plan as to how we're going to get this car out of the driveway, because it's being blocked by two other cars. He can't drive the car because he's drunk. I am really the only like sober person besides this other guy that I had just met. This stranger. We are in her house. Everyone leaves. Mm-hmm. They leave to go to this club.
I did not know they were gonna stay. Kaylin can stay in my house whenever, like whatever. Like if she wanted to, that's fine. But I thought everyone was just leaving after.
Yeah.
So to find out afterwards when we debriefed that they had stayed behind, like after we had left, broke my heart. I was like, no way. I felt
like
so
we
embarrassed.
just stayed behind because we were trying to figure out how to go about this in the most responsible way, just because the car couldn't be moved. And then I could technically move his car, the car that was being blocked, but then I would have to be the one to take him home because he's drunk. So we were trying to sober him up. Like, picture this in your head because it's the best part of the story. This guy's back up on her bed. I don't know if he ever made it down.
He went back on my bed?
The logistics, I don't understand. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, I don't know the logistics of this.
Oh, he went back on my bed.
All I remember is us turning his body, it's me and this guy turning this guy's body and like trying to grab the keys from his pocket, like his front pocket, because we have to move his car in the driveway. We're like, there's no way that we can leave or like figure something out if we don't move his car. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so movie. Like, this is giving fucking movie where it's like some random guy I just met.
Our dual perspective movie
crazy.
Because while that's all happening,
we're moving in a conscious body while she's like getting turned down at a club.
No, I never even. No,
that's what I'm saying. Go. So we grabbed the keys. We're like, we did it. We got the keys. We are dragging this body down the stairs. Like, it's giving like one arm on this guy, one arm on me. And we're moving the body down from upstairs. While this is happening, I'm getting text messages from Isa, like freaking out. She's like, I don't know why I did this. I don't want to be here right now. Like, fully, as soon as you left, I was already getting text messages and calling, like, I don't know where we're going. Like, I really hate this. Like, she was texting, like, I hate everything about this right now. Why did I do this? I want to turn back. Like, I literally want to go back. And I was like, I feel so bad. I was like, what do we do? Like, are they coming back? Like, are they just saying fuck it to the club?
But I was the minority here. Like, it's just one out of these people, all these people that wanted to go out.
Say your POV now as to what's happening.
While that's all happening, I remember getting in the car. There's such loud music blaring. I'm in the backseat, and I'm already, like, so regretful. I'm like, I hate it. Like, honestly, you guys, I was so uncomfortable. I was trying to put on, like, a face, like, just a smile. But I was having such a bad time because I just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Also, I was getting anxiety because I didn't want to separate from Kaylin.
That was the whole thing. I think
I
is
was
why we
like-
were so like
I didn't want to separate. I didn't want to leave her.
I don't know. I don't even know how that happened.
I don't know how it happened.
I don't know how it happened.
That's why I genuinely say I have such a thing. Like, if I ever feel peer pressured, or since that point, if I've ever felt peer pressured, I've always been so like, get away from me.
Literally,
I
like-
don't know what you're trying to do. And that was such a learning lesson
Experience,
for
yeah.
me, because I just couldn't say no. Like, I got so mad at myself that I let people cross those boundaries and let people disrespect me or make me
Yeah.
feel cornered and pressured to the point where I wasn't even okay with what I was doing.
Right.
So anyway, my perspective was, we're pulling up to downtown, we're in Brickell, and I don't even know like what we expected from this. It's Halloween night. The streets are packed.
Fully.
The girls are on the street. The guys are on the street. Like, everyone's in
costumes.
We get off, we're walking, and it's like deserted. Like, I don't know why we parked somewhere where it's like deserted. like it's so crazy. It's like, you guys like
idea,
nowhere in
bro.
the desert where there's like little like those
Tumbleweeds.
like the little tumbleweeds. That's what it felt like when we were walking,
LOL,
because there
bro.
was no one, not a single soul, until we made it into like civilization.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, okay, I'm in like a fucking tutu, like black
Yeah,
swan
no.
fit, whatever. We get closer and closer. We're making friends in this line. The club line, y'all, was around the block. Like,
Insane.
there was no way we were
No,
even gonna make it
insane.
in. The party in front of us were like these 30-year-olds that tried to get us in. They were like, no, let them
Oh
come
my
in with
God.
us. Let them come in with us. But then the bouncer was like, absolutely not. Should we try out another club? Some people were for it. But then I was like, they're not gonna, like, the same thing's
Like,
gonna happen. We're just gonna keep
already
losing
over
our
it.
money. Like,
I remember you had called me at this point.
I was like, I just want to go home, dude.
So in this mess of like trying to get this drunk person down the stairs, that's when we were on speakerphone. They're like telling us all the details. They're like, no, we got turned down. Like, we're coming back. I think we're just gonna come back. Like, whatever. We're like, I think we should just leave. Like, he had his own car, the other guy that I was speaking to, and he was like, okay, I could leave. I was contemplating leaving myself or waiting for them to come back because I had literally 1 bar of gas. Like, when I tell you 1 bar of gas.
1 bar of gas would be the title of an episode if we
1 bar
could. 1 bar of gas.
1 bar of gas. Like, we were fighting for our lives. So let me bring up the fact
Yeah,
that
we were like deep into like the AM. So
it was 1 a.m. Like, I think it was like literally 2 a.m. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to stop at a gas station at 2 a.m.
with an
by myself with an
man.
unconscious man. He can't protect me. Like, he has literally no awareness of what's going on. And God knows what could happen. So
I had no idea about this, by the way.
I
had no idea.
She had no idea.
I'm just here like,
no, she had actually no idea. And I had her mom's number, so I was like texting her mom to make sure, like, hey, we're leaving your house. Thank you so much for like lending us the house. I literally felt so bad. I'm like, oh my God, I'm leaving.
Here's where we're connecting dots.
This is where.
When all this was happening, she was texting my mom. My mom immediately calls me and she's also texting me and she's like, Kaylin's like leaving. And I was like, okay, but like how? Like, I was just so confused. And she was like, yeah, like I've heard her like rummaging around. And I was like, rummaging? Like, what is she doing? Mind you, Kaylin completely cleaned up my
I was
entire house.
literally cleaning up the kitchen.
She cleaned up my whole house. And my mom was like, why is she doing that?
No,
like,
I just
she
felt
doesn't
so
have
bad. I
to.
was like, I have nothing to do.
You felt bad,
And it was
I
giving
felt horrible.
like, it was giving party mess. It
No,
was giving like random
it was disgusting.
red
no.
Solo
The-
cups like everywhere.
The deep clean that I had to do the next day was filthy.
It was
And
like alcohol bottles splayed around, red Solo cups on the floor, like
I had
in
to
the
do
sink.
also like change the sheets,
No, it was a
everything, clean
mess.
the backyard. Anyway, my mom's texting me like, Kaylin's leaving. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, I was like, oh my God, I just want to get home.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to get
Yeah.
home desperately.
I had just texted her mom. I'm like, thank you so much for lending us the house. Like, I'm leaving now, just so she knows that the door was like unlocked, and to make sure like lock it up, make sure I was like, Isa's like on her way back. Like, I've already spoken to her, just so she's not worrying also about like her little daughter in the streets. Like,
You're
it
so
was
cute.
a
I was
mess.
in contact with my mom, mind you, during
was like,
this whole
please.
like grand exit of you guys leaving. The door was kept open and a cat
Yeah.
snuck into my house, and the cat was in my house for 2 days. I just want to say we found the cat 2 days later.
What?
there was a cat. We have an outside cat that she's just there.
This is there.
She entered the house and she stayed there for 2 days.
Guys, this is such a
And
ridiculous story.
we found out on November 2nd that she was in our home, and we were like, "Oh, you got in October 31st. Okay, you've been here for
That's
2 days."
the funniest shit.
Yeah, there was just a cat in our house.
It was a
Thank you.
mess. It was a mess. Needless to say, we did end up making it home. I ended up dropping this man off at the house, but I text Isa right after I make it home, and I'm like, okay, I made it home. I'm like, I had to leave this guy's car behind because he was drunk and he couldn't drive his car, and there was no way that I could have driven his car back to his house. Like, I wasn't gonna do 2 trips all the way 20 minutes away. So I was like, he's gonna have to get his car in the morning.
Unconscious man from the night before texts me and is like, "Hi, like, I'm gonna Uber and pick up my car." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
do
like-
it." Mind you, throughout the morning, I was like just waiting for this other person to leave my house because I was getting debriefed by Kaylin, and I was like hearing everything. And I found out about the 1 bar of gas in the morning. I found out about everything that she had
This
to
is
do.
when everything is like getting to both of us.
Yeah, we're like
We're
filling in each other.
reconvening.
Right.
Yeah.
I had no idea what she had gone through, and that's why I felt so much guilt, because this was supposed to be something that was hours and just like fun.
Yeah.
And it became something so, again, traumatizing. It still haunts
Literally
us.
still haunts
It
us.
still like embarrasses us and just like makes us feel like, I've been saying like this whole time I have this like knot in my stomach recounting that evening because I just hated it.
It was just so messy. Like, it was
so
so not like
messy.
us.
And I wish that me, like 2024 me, could have gone into the past and
I know.
confront the
I know.
unconscious man
I know.
for what he did to my friend and just like everything that he put her through, because I didn't even want to face him. He was like, "Oh, I'm here," and I was like, I was like,
I know.
okay. I didn't even
I
want to
know.
speak to him because I was like, okay, get your car and get out. But now I wish I would have like gone downstairs and been like,
Kind of like
bitch.
put him in his place.
Put him in his place for just a disrespect.
2024 us
Would have
is
done
different.
such. We
And we
been
look
so
back at it now
different.
and we're like, damn, we were so passive and we
Mm-hmm.
let so many things slide.
If there's something screaming at you like you don't want to go, just don't go. And
Back
I
with
wish,
the gut instincts.
I
Like, you
literally
really
wish I would have
to-
listened. And again, this is like nothing against like a direct hit towards the people. It's how I felt that night,
Right.
and it was just like
And
not
it's just
the
like
vibe.
looking back at it and thinking back to like what you would have done. It's like, I just truly wish it would have been something that we could have.
I just
know?
remembered something.
What?
I did have a friend there who is like the most loyal person ever. Shout out to you. You know who you are. You know who you are. He's amazing. And one thing he told me immediately when he was like saying hello to everybody, he pulled me into the kitchen and he goes, "Who's that guy over there?" He was pointing to unconscious man. Mind you, he wasn't unconscious at the time. And I was like, "Oh, that's Kaylin's ex." And the guy goes, "I don't get a good vibe from him. Like,
Guys.
be careful around him." He just said, "Be careful. I don't get a good vibe from him." And I was like, this is why y'all need guy friends, because how would you, like, so many people didn't get a good vibe, but
I know.
someone that hadn't even met him yet,
I know.
like, it was just the first hello. And you're telling
I
me
know.
you got bad vibes.
No, and
like,
I should have
you could
listened
feel
to
or
these
like
things.
someone's aura, and you could feel someone's energy already.
And I'm
like,
glad
what?
you told me that though. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
told me so soon.
Well, yeah.
And it did play a role like later on, because I remember it took a couple days after this incident had happened and this day occurred that we just couldn't get our minds off of it, and we kept dissecting the situation and like saying sorry to each
I
other.
sobbed
like,
my eyes
just
out that morning.
Literally like
sobbed my eyes
so
out.
like
Called
just
Kaylin
feeling
on the
guilty.
phone.
Like, she was crying to me and I was like,
Yeah.
it's okay, like I promise I'm not mad at you. Like that was I was just angered by the situation, and
I
you know,
know, I
it was like a
know.
lot of things that were out of my control, and I was like, how was I put in this position where I like
How did it get so out of
how
hand?
did it get out of hand?
From
It was
something that
nothing
started
that
off
was,
so
like,
innocently.
right. That was all it was.
I remember I was so disappointed in myself as a person. I knew that was one of those things that I was like, "Oh, Isa, you can't ever do that again."
Right.
That was something that like shifted my character and it
I
shifted so
know.
much in me. And then also I was so angry for my friend and how she was treated. And I was like, I can't believe someone would do that. And then it also felt like something that really triggers me or pisses me off is when people take advantage of someone's kindness. And we've said that throughout the season.
I know.
And that was something that was completely happening. I was just angry and I felt guilty and there was so many emotions. And that's why I hate it.
I know.
I hated
We look back
Halloween
at
last
that
year.
truly as like a learning lesson, because never again we're like traumatized by ever throwing
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm not
a
bringing
house
people
party
together
ever.
like
Yeah,
that ever.
We're like, never again. This is why I think this Halloween we're just like, enough with this. I think Halloween itself has overstayed its welcome. Like, I'm kind of over it at this point.
And I think
But-
that's why it's a good way to end the season the way that we are with
Oh
this
my
episode.
God, yeah.
You know, we're kind of done with this time of our
This
lives and like
time of our
also this time of the season. And if we hadn't mentioned that, this is the final
The last
episode
episode.
of season 2. And I think we
Tears.
both like decided that this was
a good
way to end.
ending point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also just want to start thinking about our new season, a new elevated
And just,
season
like,
with better
Full-Time
content.
Daughter, like everything about Full-Time Daughter feels elevated to us in this new era that we want to.
And we have so many ideas. We've asked you guys for feedback, and you guys have been answering our polls. You've
Which,
been leaving
thank you
comments.
so much for that.
You've been
Yeah.
DMing, and we appreciate it so much because we want to implement all that stuff into season 3.
Yeah.
And that's why we need this time that we're about to take to plan it.
Yeah.
And
We
be
will
able
be
to
back.
do everything.
So don't
Leave
Don't
quite
leave
just
us.
yet. And just because the podcast episodes are ending here for a little bit,
For
that
a
doesn't mean
little.
our other content is. We're going to come out with vlogs, and there's going to be TikToks, and we're
Instagram
going to be
stories.
posting
We're still
going
gonna
to
be active.
We're going to be active throughout the holiday season. It's just we kind of want to take this time not just to plan and really, because we want to be really meticulous and detailed with the new season, but also kind of take time for ourselves and get our lives in order. We are in post grad, and we do need to get our lives in
lives
check, you know,
together.
So it is going to be a little bit of a planning
It's a
moment, but we will be back. Don't worry, sooner rather than later. Trust.
like
we're not going to be
subscribe to that
subscribe,
YouTube.
follow
We
us.
have some really fun vlogs coming.
Yeah.
And for Christmas too. Like we just want to
Yeah.
do Christmassy things and take you guys with
Yeah,
us.
just make sure you follow us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. If you listen to the podcast on YouTube, like make sure you are just subscribed, because the podcast
gonna be
episodes
back.
they're gonna be back.
They're gonna
We're
be
back very soon. We're just taking a little mini break.
Be sure to follow, rate, and review the podcast because it really helps us grow our community, which is what we want. And
Answer all our polls. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Full Time
Comment
Daughter
below.
Pod. You know, stay up to date with us because we're going to be posting during this little break.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect time for you guys to catch up on all the episodes from season 2. Make sure you do that because
you don't want to miss them.
you don't want to miss them. And,
And
you want to
we- yeah,
be you
we
want to be up to
touch-
date
we touch
with
a lot
season
on-
3 because you're not even ready. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank
We'll
you guys
see
so
you
much for
guys.
listening. All
Have a
right.
happy holiday season too.
Yeah, we hope to see you in the new year.
In the new season, yeah.
Oh,
We'll see you
so crazy. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my-
the end of season
Yes.
2.
I'm crying. I'm literally gonna cry.
I'm emo.
Like that's emo.